Hello everyone, it's Candice Dickinson here, Artistic Director at HART, and today we are going to be taking a deeper dive into our 7 main season titles for 2025. You're going to learn a little bit more about why we chose each title, what it's about, and why you should be excited to see it. We are hoping to inspire some people to purchase a season pass or producer circle membership so that you don't miss a single one of these 2025 titles. And if you're an actor listening to this right now, we encourage you to check out a video series we're going to be releasing the first week of January, where we sit down with each director and really go into what they're going to be looking for at their auditions. So, without further ado, let's start talking about 2025. As you all know, I love a theme. And so as I was talking to people, floating titles with actors, directors, patrons, and really thinking about what kind of stories our community might need to hear in 2025, and I was really just struck by one thing over and over, that I'm surrounded by so many strong and inspiring women. I mean, even our staff is 7 people, and 6 of them are women. We do love Tom, though. We always have more women than men show up to auditions. We have more women in our audiences. And so I really just wanted to pick a season that could give some of these amazing women a chance to truly shine. So that's why our theme for 2025 is strong female leads. So each of these 7 shows you're about to hear about all share one common thing. They are led by a woman who's driving the plot. The themes and messages of the shows widely vary. The types of shows really vary. We have really upbeat musicals, classic musicals, comedic plays, dramatic plays, the whole gambit. So I really think there is something for everyone in our shows this season. Not only women are going to enjoy them, men are too. And actors, don't worry, there are still plenty of opportunities for both men and non-binary actors in our season. So stick around and let's hear about all of these 2025 titles. All right, we are kicking off our season with quite the musical. It is a multi-award-winning musical. It was, when it came out in 2008, it was nominated for 11 Tonys and took home 3, including Best Orchestration, Best Score, and Best Lead Actress. It also won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama, which is a really incredible feat for a musical. There's only been 10 in the entire history of theater that have won the Pulitzer Prize. And one of the reasons it was really praised for opening up what a musical could be about. It really took risks and is as much a beautiful dramatic story as it is a beautiful musical. And so, of course, what I'm talking about is Next to Normal. This is one of my all-time favorite musicals. It has been on my dream list to direct ever since I saw it with the original cast. I was so lucky to see that. And I'm getting to direct it. I can't wait. And I can't wait to tell you why you should be excited too. So, like I said, it really changed the course of musicals, so what is it about? It is really about the Goodman family, specifically Diana Goodman, who is the mother, she is the wife, she's the center of this family, and she struggles from bipolar disorder. The show really just follows her journey as she's trying to navigate her relationship with her mental illness and how it affects everyone around her. But within that, you have so many beautiful stories. You have the father, the husband, who sees this woman that he fell in love with, this sexy, powerful woman that has now really struggled in her life, and he continues to hold on and try to keep the family together as well. You have the daughter who is about to become a woman. She's graduating high school, going to college. She finds her first love in the show, another one of our characters, Henry. And she starts to see herself in Diana. Diana starts to see herself in Natalie. So you have this kind of intense story and mirroring that you have with Natalie and Diana. And then you have the son, Gabe, who is really just struggling to be seen by the family and be seen by Diana and stay in her life. And then, of course, the final character in this 6-person musical is the doctor. And that's incredibly important too, because I think it says a lot that that is the 6th character of this dynamic, because so much of this story is also about modern medication and that role in mental illness. There's this beautiful song that I love called My Psychopharmacologist and I, which is this kind of fantasy waltz sequence where Diana is falling in love and dancing around with her doctor, and the rest of the family becomes the chorus that is singing all of the side effects of the medication. So you have those moments that are funny, they're whimsical, and then you have these moments that are so real and so grounded and just a real look at a modern family. And then these thrilling moments. And that's what's so brilliant about the musical, is the way that this music takes you on the same journey that Diana is experiencing. You experience those highs, you experience those lows. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, you're gonna wanna bring some tissues. It is a very moving show, but the best way to describe it is thrilling. The music is thrilling, the story is thrilling, the dynamics of the show, it is a roller coaster ride, and I can't wait for you all to go on that roller coaster ride with us. It is playing May 23rd through June 15th, and so that is why you should be excited about Next to Normal. Next up in our season is our spring comedy. I've really enjoyed doing this the last few years. I feel like right as those seasons change, we all want to just enjoy a nice comedy, right? And a fun night out. So this is that show for you. It also has a lot of heart. It is a feel-good comedy to its core, y'all. It was written, it's Ripcord. It's written by David Lindsay-Abaire. You may know that name. David Lindsay-Abaire is a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright. He won for Rabbit Hole, which couldn't be more different than Ripcord. So what is Ripcord about? It follows two women at its core. We have Abby, who starts off our story, and she is grumpy. She is one of those older women that is just mad all the time and grumpy. She's been living alone in her room in her retirement home for a while because every time she gets a roommate, she scares them off. Well, then comes Marilyn. Marilyn is sunshine in a bottle. Nothing can get her down, nothing gets her angry, nothing gets under her skin. And so Marilyn and Abby make a bet for the bed by the window. You have Abby, the curmudgeonly one. She's going to make Marilyn, the sunny one, angry. And you have Marilyn telling Abby, who always has her wall up, that she's gonna scare her. And that turns into an epic rivalry that is the plot of the whole show. From then on, you go on these crazy adventures with these two grannies. You go to a haunted house, you go skydiving. We might even see some kidnapping. I'm not gonna get too far into it, but it is so much fun. Marilyn's kids all are a part of the story as well. Her adult children, you have the nurse assistant who is really at the core as well, kind of helping them. And it's just a beautiful story about a friendship that comes out of craziness. I like to describe it kind of as Odd Couple-ish. You know, you definitely have those two core women who have that very yin and yang, which makes the story so much fun. But then it, like I said, just has so much heart and feel good at the end. It is also really fun, something I'm really excited about for it, is that it feels both modern and classic, if that makes sense. It has a lot of like classic comedy, like I said, I keep comparing it to Odd Couple, but then it's very modern still and feels very new. It is PG-13, there's a little bit of cursing, but it's skydiving grannies, y'all. So the director for this show is gonna be Jason Williams, who you've seen recently. He directed Recycled Nuts, Silent Sky, and most recently, Miss Bennett Christmas at Pemberley. So it's gonna be so much fun. It is gonna be June 20th through July 13th, Ripcord. All right, next we are going to talk about our big summer musical. We are presenting a tap musical this year, and I can't wait. People love tap musicals, they love classic musicals, they love jazz musicals, and this one has all of it. I, of course, am talking about Anything Goes. I'm so excited for this show because of the tap, because of the jazz. I love both of those things. I'm truly a classic musical theater kind of girl. And there's nothing that gets an audience going like a tap number. I mean, it's pretty much if you put it in any show, there's immediate applause. It's just thrilling. And so that is one of the reasons, one of the many reasons that we chose Anything Goes. It, of course, is written by Cole Porter, who is maybe one of the most iconic jazz writers of all time, and it's kind of crazy how many songs are in Anything Goes that you will recognize. There, of course, is Anything Goes, I Get a Kick Out of You, You're the Top, Friendship, It's Friendship, Friendship, DeLovely, Buddy Beware, and that's just a few of them. So it is something that I think everyone will be singing on their way out, tapping their toes to. It, of course, has been a hit every time it's been produced. It has been revived twice on Broadway, so there's been 3 productions total. You had Ethel Merman as the star of the first one, Patti LuPone of the second, Sutton Foster as the third. Both times it's been revived. It has won Best Choreography and Best Revival, as well as being nominated for multiple Tony Awards beyond that. And it is produced everywhere, but hasn't been produced around here very recently, so we are excited to show it to you. So what is Anything Goes about? Whew. Well, at your core, you have Reno Sweeney, who is a famous nightclub singer, and Billy Crocker, who is her good friend and is hopelessly in love with Hope Harcourt, who is already engaged to another man. So they're all going on the U.S. American on the seas. Billy stows away to try to win the love of Hope. And with help from both Reno Sweeney and public enemy number 13, Moonface Martin, they try to win her back, and that is when all the crazy antics and shenanigans begin. You have mistaken identities, you have people stealing glasses and then they can't see, you have a prison break, you have just all sorts of craziness, people falling in love with each other, falling out of love with each other, and it's one of those musicals that ends in a bunch of weddings, right? So it is so much fun. You're gonna leave with a smile on your face, you're gonna leave dancing, you're gonna wanna sign up for a tap class, that's how much you're gonna love it. And it's just joy, it's just pure joy, a lot of slapstick comedy, a lot of great music, a lot of dancing. So it's everything you love about musical theater, come on. Our production is going to be directed by Sheila Sumter, who you've seen direct a ton, especially if you've come to any of our Academy shows. She is our education director, and most recently for the main stage season, she directed Good Old Girls 2 years ago. So I think she's gonna do a fantastic job. Actually, fun story. This show was the first professional contract she ever had as a choreographer, and so it also holds a really special place in her heart. So I know she's gonna bring it to life so well, and we can't wait to have so many people in our audience singing along to Cole Porter. Next in our season is an incredible play called The Cake. Now, every season at HART, we try to put at least one show that really makes you think and sticks with you. And this is that show, although there are several in our season that could fall under that category. And what I love about this show so much is just how well it's told, honestly. It's just a really good play. It has comedy, it has heart, it has kind of hard subject matter, but it tells it in such a honest and fair way. Something we keep saying is there's no villain of this play. It's just 4 people, and so what's it about, you ask? Well, let me tell you. So The Cake, written by Becca Brunstetter, which I am actually going to take another side journey here because I want to tell you about Becca. So she is a really famous writer, modern. She is from North Carolina, from Winston-Salem. The director of the show, Aaron McCarson, knows her really well. They grew up together. And Becca's gone on to do a bunch of really exciting things. She is a writer and producer for the TV series This Is Us. She is also one of the writers on the Broadway show The Notebook. And that's just to name a few of kind of the bigger things you'd know. Please take a deep dive into Becca, though. She's amazing. And because of that North Carolina voice, too, I think that really helps tell this story to our audiences because it feels familiar. It feels like your friend telling you this story. So now I'll get into what it's about. So you have Della is the kind of core of this, and she is an older conservative cake baker. She owns her own bakery and bakes cakes for a living. She's just that like sweet woman that we all know, that sweet Southern woman. And Jen comes home. Now Jen and Della was like Jen's second mom. Like we all have that one, right? That like you have your mom and then you have the other woman that was like your mom's best friend that kind of helped raise you. That's their relationship. And Jen's mom has passed away, so she's kind of her only mother figure in her life as well. So she comes back to North Carolina to ask Della to make her wedding cake. Della immediately says yes, she's so excited. And then she finds out that Jen is actually marrying a woman named Macy. And that's where things start to get hard for everyone, for Della, for Jen, for Macy, and for Della's husband, Tim. Della is really torn by what she believes and what her morals are, and this girl that she helped raise and that she loved so much. And that's the whole plot. Really, it's so beautiful in how it is told. Like I said, there's truly not a villain of this story. You really see every part of each character. You see what they truly feel, who they are, and that dilemma of wanting to stick to your morals and your values while also having your world open up and having your mind opened up. So it's really beautifully told. Like I said, it's funny, it's heartfelt, it's sad at times, it's exciting at times, and I think it'll really affect people differently. I think there's gonna be some people who feel a lot of like catharsis from seeing it. I know I did. There's going to be people who might have some inner turmoil because of it. It's going to stick with a lot of people. I think it's something you're going to want to keep talking about, maybe open up conversations about. And at the end of the day, it's just a really great play. So you should definitely come see it. Erin McCarson is going to be the director of this show. She has recently directed at HART, The Gods of Comedy. She directed the Christmas Story, and she directed Calendar Girls. And she's directed a lot around town as well, but those are the ones I think you'd recognize her from. So join us for The Cake, August 15th through the 31st, if you want to see an amazing show that'll make you think. Next up, we have our fall musical. Now, this was actually the last title that I added into our season for multiple reasons. The main being that I wanted to pick another musical that would complement the shows that I already had and kind of give us a different variety of musical style. So we already had two musicals that were very rock focused and modern. We had our classic, jazzier musical, and I wanted to have one that really showcased the incredible talent of all of the more classically trained singers that we have at HART and in this region. So of course, I had to look to Stephen Sondheim for some complicated music that will challenge singers that is also so beautiful to listen to. And we landed on A Little Night Music. It, of course, has a female lead in Desiree Armfeldt, and it's just an incredible story that has proven the test of time. If you don't know Stephen Sondheim for some reason, he is one of the most prolific composers probably ever. He was very active from the late 50s all the way into the 2020s, and this is widely regarded as one of his greatest works. When it premiered in 1973, it was nominated for 12 Tony Awards, which is pretty crazy, and it won 6, including Best Musical, Best Orchestrations, Best Score, Best Lead Actress, Best Costumes, and one that I'm forgetting. It's such a great piece, and I think it really stands the test of time. So let's get into a little more about what A Little Night Music is actually about. It is based on a comedy of manners, which is the comedy of manners is Smiles of a Summer Night. And if you don't know what a comedy of manners is, it is a very kind of specific style of theater. It is a satirical look at the behavior of a certain societal class, normally the upper class. So it is funny in that way. It's satirical, like I just said, but it's really looking at those people and kind of the craziness of their small problems, if that makes sense. So it's feels a little bit like Shakespearean in that same way, where you have all these like love triangles and people kind of like having these realizations and having these like misunderstandings. So it has that kind of crazy feel to it while still being very proper and being these very rich upper class people having these love affairs and moments. So as I said, it focuses around Desiree Armfeldt, who is a famous actress, and the past lovers that she has had, and they all come together for one weekend in the countryside with their new wives, their new mistresses, her mother's there, her maid's there, and kind of in that they all get entangled with each other. It has beautiful, beautiful music. Some very famous songs that have come from that show are The Glamorous Life, Soon, Now, and Later, which are 3 separate songs. You have Every Day a Little Death, and of course the most famous, Send in the Clowns. So it's a beautiful score. I'm sure you know a lot of those songs. It's very melodic. I always think of waltz when I think of a little night music. And another exciting thing about this production that you should be excited for is it will have a live orchestra as well. As you know, we've had to switch over to tracks for a lot of our shows recently, but I try to at least have one a year that has live orchestrations. This is our one, and it is such a great one to do because, good Lord, is this music pretty. So please join us. A Little Night Music will be directed by Julie Kinter, who you've seen direct a lot on the HART stage. She most recently directed The Mousetrap, which I know people loved. She did Steel Magnolias. She did The Diary of Anne Frank, among many, many more. So I know she's going to do a fantastic job with this. It's going to be playing September 5th through the 28th. This is kind of our only show that lines up perfectly with a month. We love that. So come in the month of September to see A Little Night Music. Our next play of the season is one I'm super excited about as well for a lot of reasons. The main being that it is a play by a local playwright named David Brendan Hopes. A lot of you have probably heard of him. He's really prolific in his work, both in poetry and in plays and novels and short stories. He taught at UNC Asheville for years, and he's even been on the HART stage. And many people think, kind of regard this play as one of his best plays. I know it's one we're really excited about and have been wanting to produce for a few years now. And I, of course, am talking about Washington Place. So one of the reasons that we chose this title and that I'm so excited and why you should be so excited is because of David Hope's involvement in it. He is gonna, get a chance to work with these actors, which is such a cool opportunity for actors to actually get to pick the brain and learn from the person who wrote the words you are saying. And you'll also get that opportunity too with some audience talkbacks. David's gonna be joining us for opening night and both Sundays of Washington Place. That way you can get to ask him some questions and we can lead some discussions to get really a deeper look into theater and what goes into writing a play. So what is this play about, you ask? Well, Washington Place is named after the address of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. Now, some of you might immediately be thinking, where do I know that name from? It might be from history class, because the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory incident, the fire, which is what this show is about, was a very, very significant piece of our history that really changed workers' rights, factories, workers' protection. And the reason is a pretty tragic story, but don't let that deter you. So the story is that this factory was full of immigrant women. They came from kind of all over to New York and were working in this factory making shirtwaists, which are basically women's blouses of the time. They got paid per piece, so it was really hard work. And on the day of the incident, you just get to see a little more into what it was like working at that factory and the disrespect that they had, specifically from their bosses, the ownership. They have to go on in this particular day to the roof to have a birthday party for the boss's kid, and like I said, they get paid per piece, so they're not getting paid for that day basically because of this. Another thing that becomes really important to the story is that the upper management believed that they were taking too many smoke breaks, and so they started chaining the doors and locking the women inside while they were working so that they couldn't take those breaks. And you can guess what happens. A fire breaks out, and it is a complete tragedy. Now, one way we like to kind of think about this show is that, yes, there's a pretty significant tragic event that happens at the end, but that is also true about Titanic, right? And when you think about Titanic, you don't think of like, oh, right? It's about the people, and it's about seeing what their life was like on this day that happened to be the last day of their life, but they didn't know that. So at the end of the day, this is really a slice of life drama. It's about these immigrant women who have come here, they found camaraderie in each other, they're trying to make a new life for themselves, and it's about their life on this day. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of theater. It's going to make you think. It's really entertaining. It has great opportunities for women. It's mostly women in the show with one male role, and it's their story. So we are so excited about it. It is going to be directed by Steve Lloyd, who I think you've heard of. If you haven't, Steve Lloyd was the executive director of HART for 30 years or more, I believe. And we're really excited because this will be the first show that he is directing again since his retirement in 2023. So it was one that he proposed, one that he's been wanting to do for a while, and we're really excited to watch him bring it to life along with David Hopes. And you'll get that chance to talk to both of them October 3rd through the 12th, Washington Place. And our final show of the season is the one and only Lizzie, the musical. So how we chose this one was kind of multiple reasons, but the main being that, as we've established, I love a good theme, and I love doing things around holidays. And so I wanted to choose for our final show that overlaps with Halloween, something that's kind of in that spirit, in the Halloween-y, spooky season feel. We just did Mousetrap, which was a murder mystery that I know people loved. I get people saying all the time that they want more murder mysteries. This one isn't too mysterious because I think we all kind of know the story of Lizzie Borden, but it's really exciting in the way that it's told. It is a rock musical. We are going to have a live band on stage for this. It's really fun. You have a keyboard, electric guitar, cello, and drums, and it'll be right on stage. The show is really kind of more of a concert. It's a rock concert. It's almost all singing. There's very little scenes, but a lot happens through the singing. So it still has a plot. It still follows the plot of Lizzie Borden. But it does it, they're singing directly to the audience. They're telling their story, and it's rock. It is very exciting music. All of the women are, high belts, really talented singers. You have Lizzie Borden, her neighbor, her sister, and her maid. And they are telling the myth, the legend of Lizzie. If you don't know what that is, I'll go into it just a little bit for you. Let's find the year right here, 1892. Lizzie's father and mother are found murdered in her home, and the main suspect is Lizzie, as just her and the maid were the only two people in the house at the time of the murders. So they immediately start to look into her as a suspect. She goes on to trial. We kind of follow all of that, the days after, everyone's reaction leading to the trial, which of course she famously was acquitted. She was found innocent, got off scot-free, even though it was widely kind of known within everyone that she definitely did it. And then you kind of see what happens afterward as well, kind of the public's reaction and what happens to Lizzie. So it's really exciting. Like I said, it is dark subject matter in a way, but it's fun, which sounds weird to say, but it's just true. It's just a really fun and exciting show that is about this American myth that is so much a part of our fiber. And I think it just fits our season perfectly. Like I said, I think it's a great way to kind of finish our season, leading us into fall, leading us into the holidays. It's just for women, amazing music, live music on stage. And I'm so excited about our director for it. We have the amazing Nicole Sumter, who has literally been doing things at HART since she was a child and has grown up here, stage managed a million times, has just recently gotten into directing. You may have seen her do Constellations this past season, and we can't wait to see what she does with Lizzie. She's got her blood recipe ready to go, and so expect to see some blood on stage, expect to have a thrilling experience, and finish this season out with a bang with Lizzie, October 17th through November 2nd. Bonus points if you come to the Halloween show in costume. All right, y'all, so that is all 7 of our 2025 main season titles. We hope that you go online and grab your season pass or producer circle membership at hearttheater.org or by calling our box office at 456-6322. Tickets for all of these titles will go on sale April 21st for the general public, but if you get a season pass, you get early access so that you can pick the best seats. We can't wait to see you for all of our 2025 season shows. Bye.